Yeah, no. Tonight we're just gonna hang out. I want to kick back with you guys, see how things went. I'm getting the bugs worked out of the whole streaming setup, so I appreciate your patience. But it's good to see you guys. All right, I'm expecting Instagram to kick in here. There we go. Hey guys, what's up? I'm just kind of hanging out tonight. I wanted to kick back, just answer questions. I'm gonna answer. YouTube chat gets a hard priority, but if anyone else wants to. If YouTube chat gets dead, I'll answer Instagram questions. It's good to see you guys. What's up? Sorry for the false start earlier. It's good to have you guys. What's up? Yeah, no. So I'm focused on YouTube chat. Good to have you, AMRG. And I'll shout out anyone who wants to subscribe to me on YouTube. I'm happy to have you guys here. But no, yeah, I'm just kind of kicking the can around, I guess. I got some gameplay footage from Pokemon Moon from Once Upon a Time. That's fun. But no, yeah, what's up, guys? If you have any questions you want to ask me, good to have you here. Emmanuel, it's good to have you. Oh, yeah. So somebody says, I was diagnosed with autism last year, and after seeing your methods, it made me feel like I had a friend that could help me out. Appreciate you. And man, I am really glad to hear that. You know, life can be hard sometimes. I'm glad that it's not quite as bad for you right now because I'm in it. That means a lot to me. Thank you. Happy to hear that, Nerf guy. It's glad to hear it, man. But yeah, no, what's up, guys? It's good to have you here. I'm just kind of killing time. Wanted to try the whole live stream thing. So if you do want to hang out with me, do it on YouTube. I don't get any money from Instagram. I'm kind of tired of doing it on Instagram for nothing. So here we are. But no, yeah, it's good to have you, Aiden. What's up? Big business. Good to have you. Good to have you. I always appreciate any subs you want to throw my way. I don't know. How do I reason with autism? You know, I get that question a lot. It's a big topic, right? But I think that one of the big things you got to remember is that people are just people, right? Whether they're women, whatever. It's really easy to lose sight of the fact that you're just trying to make them happy. You add value to their lives. You make them think that, hey, this is someone I want to spend time around, and they'll like you for that. So yeah, it's easy to overcomplicate that stuff, but it doesn't have to be that complicated, and that's kind of beautiful. I don't know. What does it feel like being autistic? The diagnosis was kind of, when I was a kid, I really hated the idea of being diagnosed. I didn't want to think about, I didn't want to think about all the time, like how I was different. I just focused on how I want to be the same as everyone else. And if I can't be that, then I'm just not going to think about it. But once I acknowledged that I was different, once I said, I'm not the same person I used to be. I'm not the same as everyone else. It was a lot easier to kind of be successful, do the things I needed to do to win if I did that. So I think it's the best thing I can say about how it felt to be diagnosed is I rejected it at first. Once I got past that rejection, life got a lot easier. Simo asks how he can be so confident like I am. Thank you so much for the sub, man. Appreciate it, Hillsend. But yeah, no, I appreciate you guys. But when it comes to being personally confident, confidence is basically like confidence is a reflection of past successes in a real way. And so if you, what am I saying? Confidence is a reflection of your past success. And if you have no past success or you've been struggling for a while, then it's going to be hard to be confident. But the truth is, you can kind of get over that. There's ways to address that, overcome that. And the number one way to do that is kind of, how to put this? You just kind of accept that you're not who you want to be yet, but you can change to get there. I think I'll say that. Is that it's a lot easier to be confident when you focus on the person you're becoming, as opposed to the person you have been in the past, especially if you've screwed up so far in life. It's better to focus on the person you're going to be. What Pokemon is the most autistic coded? Ooh, that's a good question. So I've got my personal favorites, but I think that the most autistic coded Pokemon, oh, that's a tough one. I like Unknown for that. I think that Unknown is a good match for autistic coded Pokemon because there's just so many letters and stuff. There's a lot of collection. There's you can dive. All Pokemon are autistic coded. Let's go with that. Every single Pokemon is varying levels of autistic coded because it's Pokemon, right? What else we got here? It's good to have you guys here. Thanks for the sub, Jessica. It's good to have you. Manuel, good to have you. But no, yeah, I'm happy to answer any questions you're going to throw my way. I'll answer some from Instagram here if I run out of them. But yeah, guys, heads up. If you want to drop mean words in my Instagram chat, that doesn't show up on YouTube, so it doesn't really matter. But please don't do that. It's really rude. Hope you. But yeah, somebody asks if I'd be a manager. Well, I lost a lot of track here. But yeah, no. If you want to hang out with me on YouTube, that's probably the best place to do it. I appreciate that. Appreciate the kind words, man. And yeah, not all Pokemon are autistic. I think some Pokemon are a lot less autistic than others. I think that Lugia, probably not super autistic. Ho-Oh, I don't know. Entei, I'm going back to Silver a lot here. I don't know what's going on there. But I think that my favorite Pokemon personally is Lucario or maybe Absol, just because they have the Edgelord thing. I don't know. I haven't really played since, I guess, the last one was the... last Pokemon game I played it must have been the one that was kind of set in France. I don't remember. Man, I can't believe I'm forgetting the name. But the one that was based on not the first one was with the one of the fairy types. Anyway, it's good to have you guys here. What's up? Now I'm answering questions on Instagram and YouTube as they come in. Mostly YouTube, but if you guys want to do, I'm trying to rack up some YouTube watch time. So it means a lot to have you guys watch on there because it's that's how I get. Yeah. Somebody asks me a good question. If I could change my diagnosis so that I either was or wasn't diagnosed, would I? And 5 years ago, 10 years ago, absolutely. If I could say, hey, I don't want to be autistic, I would absolutely have flipped that switch and said, no, I'll be normal. But now I think about my life has gotten a lot better since then, and ever since my life started getting better, I've become more okay with my kind of weirdness and my differences. Because the thing about autism is that it's like, how to put this? The thing about being autistic is that it's hard for I wouldn't know who else. I don't know what I'd become if I wasn't autistic. I know who I am now, and I'm okay with that now. But I wasn't okay with who I was 10 years ago. So I think that's the biggest difference is that knowing that I am okay with who I am now means that I don't think I'd change being autistic if I could. I like doing what I do now. I like being who I am. Black and White 2 is a really good game. Black and White both very great games. I didn't play those. I don't think I finished Black actually when I played this is the one Zekrom and all that. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Yeah. I really liked. I really enjoyed. What am I thinking of? The one with the fairy types is killing me. The one with the set in France. Excuse me. But yeah, no, it's good to have you guys here. We're just kind of hanging out, answering questions. All right. Well, I think I'm coming to. I'm 27 years old. My birthday's coming up in 6 days. Actually, I'm almost 28, so I'm basically unk status over here. I'm getting kind of old, but it is what it is. Comes to the territory. I'm alive, right? I'm grateful for that. It's good to have you here, Emmanuel. So yeah, I don't know. Answering any questions you guys have for me, I'll take them as they come in. Do I like Baja Blast? So the Mountain Dew. The hard Mountain Dew I'm drinking here comes in about, I think it's 4 flavors. You've got watermelon, which I don't like, Baja Blast, which is okay, Mountain Dew, with the original, which is good, and I don't really remember how the Live Wire tastes. There's this orange one that's pretty good too. So, I know that's my take there. What's my favorite movie? I think that one of my favorite movies is probably, that's a good question. Cars is up there. I really, really liked Owen Wilson in Cars, Lightning McQueen, all that jazz. Cars 2 was overhated, but it wasn't great. Cars 3, phenomenal. So. So I actually like Cars 2 more than Cars 3. Cars 3 actually. And yeah, I get the baby face thing a lot. Part of that is high body fat. Part of that is I've got the autism Botox. Somebody says I look 18, so I've got the autism Botox where the top half of my face just doesn't move that much, and that means I'm gonna wrinkle slower than most people, which that's kind of cool, I guess. I don't know. But then I've also got the higher body fat than I probably should, so it doesn't help on the soft face side of things. It's good to have you here, Emmanuel. Other questions we got in Instagram chat. What do we got here? Movie. Hi from New Jersey. Good to have you. Yeah, it's it's good to have you guys here. We still taking over Liechtenstein. Liechtenstein might have to wait. I don't know. Liechtenstein's kind of that's a stretch goal. It might take a while to build up to that one. I'm optimistic that someday we will conquer Liechtenstein, but it hasn't happened yet, and it won't happen soon. Interstellar, fantastic movie. One of Christopher Nolan's best. He's probably my favorite director. I actually love Christopher Nolan, but I think that I don't know. I'll put Interstellar is probably in my top 10 somewhere. I don't know where exactly, but Dark Knight also incredibly good. Batman Begins, not phenomenal but good. Dark Knight Rises, like I put just below Dark Knight, also incredibly good. What else? Other Christopher Nolan movies. I really like Dunkirk, but it wasn't. It was a solid movie. I don't know if I felt the historical angle changes it a little bit. I don't know. Somebody asked me about medication when it comes to treating autism, and I like that. That's a good question. Do I think it helps? I take something called Abilify. I'm not a doctor, not saying this is what you should do. But I take something called Abilify that helps me kind of moderate my energy levels and my how excited my brain gets, I guess. I don't really know the strict how it works, but I take something called Abilify that really helps me stay chill. What is my least favorite movie? Oh man. I don't know, man. I do know that the Joker 2 was terrible, which is unfortunate. I think that Joaquin Phoenix probably deserved better. I didn't actually see it, but I kind of assume that's the story, is that Joaquin Phoenix, a phenomenal actor. So, yeah. Yeah, it's a shame that the new Joker wasn't any good. I don't know. What was got here? Other questions. Sorry, guys, there's a lot here. I apologize if I'm not getting catching any just right away. But, yeah, no, it's... So my childhood, somebody asked me how my childhood was as an autistic kid, and it was incredibly hard, I'll be honest. Hardest part of my life was roughly like 14 to 20 or so. It was just miserable, nonstop. I hated it so much. And I survived, but it was a tough road, guys. It's the kind of thing, one of the things about autism is, how to say this, waiting list for autism meds, that sucks, I'm sorry. One of the things about autism is that, it's just like, it's a lot harder when you are in a situation you don't want to be in. Once you can kind of shape your own life in a way that works for you, it gets a lot easier. When you're in school, when you have to be at some sort of specific thing, especially school, there's a certain structure that makes your life a lot harder that you can't get out of. But when you're in a situation where you can kind of just say, if I don't want to work in this specific kind of situation, that I can just not do that. That helps a lot. So, yeah. High school in general is a hard time for a lot of people, but I think it's a lot worse with autism. I'll say that much. Really not fun. So, yeah. Good to have you. It was good to have you here, Emmanuel. I'll be around for a while. Applebee's asks me, do I like beer? And guys, I appreciate any subs. Love it. It'd be fun to have you guys subscribe to my YouTube if you're watching right now. But there are certain beers I like. I am generally not a huge beer guy, but I will sometimes enjoy, there's a Firestone Walker 805, very solid. You got Stella Artois out of Belgium, very solid. I'll do a Heineken if I really know it's something cheap coated at least. It's good to have you here, Christian. Good to have you here. But yeah, I think that I'm more of a liquor guy or a mixed drink guy than I am a beer guy. And wine is in there somewhere in the middle. I think that I usually prefer liquor over wine, but it's close. Beer is a solid number 3, though. And other questions we got here. Let's see here. Other questions in the chat. Any tips on fighting the loneliness without getting exhausted and living in a constant state of self-cringe? Well, let's break this one down. Somebody asked me about tips for fighting loneliness. And one of the biggest things, especially as an adult, it can be really hard to get plugged into things, right? But one thing I've found to help, thanks for the sub, is that what am I saying? One of the things I found to help with loneliness is you kind of just say, hey, I'm going to make a point to go out and find things that I don't need permission to go do, right? Because when you're when you're just kind of a weird person, you might not have people to invite you to stuff, but you can still go to meetup groups. You can still try and be pleasant at a church or at a work event or whatever it is. You can find ways to plug into people, plug in when people don't want to, have you. When no one's inviting you to things, there are still ways to go out and do things, and that's how you get invited to things. Lucky Buddha, I'll have to try that sometime. Thanks, Christian. But yeah, no. So I think that's one of the big things is that if you can kind of plug in and start connecting to people in a way that, I don't know, there's a lot of power in that. Let's see here. Other questions from Instagram or YouTube. One thing about getting exhausted, that's a good question about getting exhausted specifically, is that when you are emotionally kind of, tired, sometimes it really is okay to just step back and say, I'm going to take a breath. I'm going to be alone, but then you have to take action. You can't rest all the time. There is such a thing as resting too much, and it's a lot easier to do than you might think. I don't know, but yeah, what do we got here? Chat. Any questions for me? Happy to answer any you got. I don't know what. I'm not a big Roblox guy, Jacob. I don't know how to answer that. But I appreciate the kind words, guys. There's a lot of I don't know. But how do you cope with being made fun of for being autistic? So, Memester asks a valid question here, and it's hard, right? Because no one wants to be teased or made fun of for being just themselves. But I think that the best answer I can probably give you is that the biggest thing is you got to get away from people who are going to hurt you in that regard. The younger you are, the more common they'll become. When you're in high school or something, people might tease you for it, and there's only so much you can do to get away from that. But there's a lot of beauty in being able to say, hey, I am going to instead go hang out with people who like me for who I am, and they might be hard to find, but they're out there. And so just getting away from bad people is the first step. But then when it comes to if it's going to happen either way, right? You just got to acknowledge that you really can't afford to care too much about what people think of you. This isn't just an autism thing. This is life in general. If you give people power over you like that, it's a bad place to be, because it's like, I don't know. The more power you give over people, give people over you, the more they will abuse that power. So you got to focus on how to be okay with who you are in your own right. So you're not kind of, I don't know, yeah. Because I definitely did get teased a lot for being autistic. It wasn't so much, people didn't really use the word autistic. They didn't call me that, but that was why I was being teased, and it was hard. Morgan asks if he or she should get tested to be autistic to see if you're in high school or something and your parents won't get you tested, you're probably just out of luck. You might maybe try again as an adult. But honestly, I don't think that there's a lot of if your parents aren't trying to get you tested and they don't care, then you might just be out of luck on getting tested for autism, and I don't think it makes sense. Elena asks me if streaming is overwhelming or if it's easier. It's definitely harder, but I kind of want to get used to it. Absolutely, Memester. Happy to help. But I'm trying to get used to streaming. It's hard. It's a much different mechanism. It's a much different motion than making a video. But I want to kind of get comfortable with it, so we'll see how it goes. I appreciate the subs, guys. Thank you so much. But yeah, when it comes to when your daughter has a friend who's autistic, and sometimes they struggle to interact, how do you explain this to your daughter? That's a tough question. I think that you just focus on how she is. You talk about your daughter's friend who is autistic. You focus on how she might be. I don't really know how to describe. I don't know how to answer that. That's a hard question because I've never been in the position of having to be on the outside looking in. Right? I've never really had. But I think that the best answer I can probably give you is that if you can focus on how she is different, and she's gonna sometimes she will miss things. You can be negative. You can be a little bit negative because that's just what it is. It's honest. But you can be a little if you be blunt about it while also being thoughtful of how But she brings things to the table. She's focus on the positive while recognizing reality. Don't try and make her think that it's not happening. Right? That won't work for you. So yeah. Let's see here. Other questions. It's good to have you guys here. Nick, I'm going to block you, man. Goodbye. I'll hopefully get banned. Okay, me. This report takes forever. No. Shut up. Block. Did I just break the stream? Are you fucking kidding me? Oh. I just swore when I didn't mean to. But, let's see here. Well, that's awful.